This has got so frustrating. Everyone is asking the same question right now. Will AI replace humans? The question is everywhere. In boardrooms, in group chats, in the back of people's mind at 2 a.m. But it's the wrong question. The real question is that what kind of humans becomes more valuable when machines get smarter? Because here's the truth, my friend. No one is saying it clearly, but I am going to. AI does not replace humans equally. It replaces certain kind of human values and dramatically increase the value of others. The difference, the gap, is what I call the human premium. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay. Most conversations about AI are built on fear. Fear of job loss, fear of irrelevance, fear of being outspaced by something that never sleeps. But fear distorts the map. Right now, people are racing to become more efficient, more productive, more optimized. They are learning tools, stacking skills, automating workflows, and all of that sounds smart. Trust me, it does. Until you realize something very, 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 very uncomfortable. Efficiency is becoming very cheap. In fact, efficiency is becoming abundant, and abundance destroys value. What used to take team now takes one person. What used to take one person now takes a prompt. So if your value based is on speed, output, or volume, you're standing on the ground that's quietly dissolving. This is a category error. People think AI is competing with human. It's not. AI is competing with tasks, and the tasks are not where lasting value lives, right? So stay with me. I'll bring more light to this topic. So what does this really matter, right? What actually increases in value, machine improves, here's the definition. So basically the human premium is the value created by qualities machine cannot meaningfully replicate, at least not yet, and possibly not ever. These are not skills in the traditional sense. They are not trade judgments or orientations. And the more powerful AI becomes, the more expensive these qualities are going to get. Think of it in this way, where everyone has access to the same tool. Tools stop being the differentiator. The differentiator becomes who knows what to do with them, when to use them, and when not to. That's the human pillar. And today we are going to talk about certain pillars, right? The number one is judgment is uncertainty. The first pillar is judgment, not knowledge, not intelligence, but judgment. AI is an excellent pattern recognition, right? It is exponential at optimizing known paths, right? But in the real world, it is completely messy. The real world is full of incomplete information, conflict incentives, ethical trade-offs, consequences that don't show up on dashboards. Judgment is the ability to decide without certainty. It's knowing when the data is enough and when it is. Two people can use the same AI system and get radically different outcomes because one person knows what matters and the other is just executing instructions. Execution is scalable, judgment is scarce, and scarcity is where value hides. Let's talk about the pillar two, right? This pillar is very, very misunderstood, and because of that, massively undervalued in taste. We're entering in a world flooded with content, ideas, design, strategy. Creativity is completely exploding. Originality is not the rare skill, is not the longer generate option. It is choosing the taste, is the ability to recognize quality before its obvious becomes more consequential forms. Before metrics, we just confirm it. AI can produce tens and thousands of variations. I cannot tell you which one matters. That requires context, culture, experience. Taste is built slowly through exposure, through comparison, through failures, and as an average output riser, taste becomes the bottleneck. Not intelligence, not effort, but taste. So let's talk about the third pillar, and it is one of my favorite. Machine can generate information, human can generate meaning. The distinction sounds abstract until you see how practical it is. Meaning answers questions like this: What does this matter? Who is this for? What does this do? What does this change? What do we do next? AI can give you these sort of answers. It cannot give you a clear direction. Direction comes from narratives, from value, from intention. That's why leaders remain irrepressible, not because they know more, but because they have decided the knowing is wrong. Meaning turns into activities into movements, and movements create leverage. Trust and reputation are the next pillar is something people really underestimate. AI has no reputation, but you do. The trust compounds slower than skills, but it compounds longer. People don't follow the outputs, they are following people. They follow consistencies, they track records, judgment over time. In a world where anyone can generate anything, credibility becomes a filter. The human premium increases when others believe, right? You see what they don't. You disappear, you'll stand behind decisions. Trust cannot be automated, it can't be earned, but it must be learned and earned. And once earned, it incredibly expensive to replace. So let's talk about the responsibility and the accountability part. There's a part very few people want to talk about, right? When things go south, someone has to answer, right? AI doesn't take the responsibility, doesn't absorb the blame, right? It doesn't face the consequences. Humans do. Responsibility itself is becoming a form of value. Being the person willing to decide and live with outcome is a premium position. As systems get more complex, the number of people willing to carry the weight shrinks. And when supply drops, value rises. Right? Simple economics. Now let's talk about something more dangerous that is going to take place. It's going to be very exponential. Not full automation, just components are enough to execute and just replaceable enough to ignore. This is where many smart people are stuck. They're efficient, capable, adaptable, but indistinguishable. They learn tools quickly and don't move upstream. They optimize tasks instead of choosing problems. And slowly, quietly, they train system. Yeah, and then they no longer need them. This is not a skill gap; it's a positioning gap, right? So the main question is how to increase your human premiumness. So what do you do? First, move a step. Stop asking the question, what can I do faster? Start asking, what should be done at all? Second, cultivate taste, consume widely, compare relentlessly, practically choose, not just produce. Third, make your thinking visible. Private competence caps out, public judgment compounds. Fourth, shift from output to outcomes. Outcome require responsibility, and responsibility creates leverage. You do not need to compete with machines. You need to position yourself where machines need you. Right? This is a future that only a few can see. Here's where here is where this is heading. Smaller teams, higher leverage, few journalisms, more decision makers, resumes matters less, right? Reputation matters more. Productivity becomes assumed. Judgment becomes rare. AI doesn't flatten the world, it sharpens it, right? So, no, AI doesn't make humans obsolete, it makes average value invisible and exceptional value undeniable. The question isn't whether you'll be replaced, the question is whether you're building the kind of value that can't be copied, and that, my friend, is the human premium.